What's up, YouTube? Lindsay here. Today's video is going to be about calories and do you need to track calories, and also macronutrients, what they are. Do you need to track macronutrients or macros? If you've been kind of in the fitness health world or dabbling a little bit and learning a little bit about it, I'm sure you've heard the term macros. But if you're just getting started, maybe you have not. Everybody's heard of calories. Some people don't really know the significance of calories, if you even need to track calories, why calories matter towards your weight loss goals. And some people out there will say you don't need to track calories. A lot of times in the plant-based community that I'm a part of, because I am a plant-based vegan, they say you don't need to track calories. What they're really saying is the food that you're eating is so nutrient dense and so full of fiber, you're gonna get filled up before you eat an abundance of calories. But if you are eating a ton of calories from plant-based sources even, you're gonna gain weight. If you eat more calories than what you're burning in a day, you will gain weight over time. Now, that is a problem that many Americans face. That's why I think it's over 35% of America is obese, which is unreal. And I know, and I'm not sure what the year is, I probably should have looked that up first, but in one of my books that I was reading, it said by some year in the near future, they're estimating 50%, half of Americans will be obese. That's not just overweight, that's obese. And being overweight already contributes to a lot of health problems, but being obese is even worse, okay? It's just so much strain on your organs and your heart, which, is what keeps you going. It puts you more at risk for diseases and cancers, and with the typical diet that Americans eat, very, very high fat, high processed sugar, type of diet, that gets us over our calories very, very quickly. And a lot of times people are sedentary, and obviously the more weight you gain, the more sedentary you're going to become, right? Because you're not going to have that energy to move. You're just not going to, it's going to take more effort for you to lug around that extra weight that you're just not going to be interested in doing that. So the issue there is obviously an abundance of calories, way more than we need from eating, fast food or going out to restaurants or getting delivery or, whatever it is, because we're just so busy. We're so busy running here, running there, with work. We, a lot of times the mom and the dad are both working, and, when you come home, like Kyle and I mean, we're not parents, but we both work 40 hours a week. And when we come home, we don't want to make big meals. Like, after we go to the gym, we come home, it's like 6:30, almost 7 o'clock, and we still have to eat dinner. I have to study. Like, it's not going to be a big to-do, but, we have a bunch of healthy recipes in our arsenal that are, 30 minutes or less, a handful of ingredients that we know either we make it in advance on Sunday for a big batch for the week, or we have that on hand to make on busy nights, so that we're not getting quick meals and delivery and things like that, because we know that's not going to help us achieve our goals. Well, a lot of times people get in that habit, and even snack foods in your pantry, if you're not paying attention to the nutrition label and really seeing how many calories for how much you're eating, that can add up extremely fast. And with fat being probably the most overeaten macronutrient in our society, it is also the highest calorie per gram macronutrient. So macronutrients are protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Those are the three that give us calories. Those are the only three things that we eat that give us any calories, okay? So our macros. And fat is 9 calories per gram. Carbs and protein are 4. So that's why when you eat a high fat food, or if you notice like a tablespoon of olive oil, which is like 100% fat, has like 140 calories in just 1 tablespoon. I mean, think how little that is. And that's a ton of calories for that. Because it's just so calorie dense that, and fat is in everything. I mean, if you go out to eat, even to healthy restaurants, my husband and I have been to Core Life a couple of times, and the last time we were there, we swore it was the last time we were gonna go, because even their like tofu, healthy ancient grain thing was smothered in oil. Like, I could see it at the very bottom. I'm like, I can't even do this. And oil, yes, it adds a lot of flavor, and we love it because our taste buds have been trained to want fatty foods. It jacks up the calories. So this and makes it unhealthy. So this once healthy meal, is a ton of calories and has a ton of oil in it, which is, again, 100% fat that's gonna, get into my arteries and cause issues for my heart for no reason other than a little extra flavor. It's just not worth it, right? But fat, aside from olive oil, just gets into everything. I mean, a lot of people demonize carbs. Well, it's not carbs that are the enemy, right? It's the processed refined sugars that are bad, but also in anything like donuts, cookies, cakes, those are higher fat than anything else because you have the butter and the milk and the cream and the shortening. Like, you have all these things in them that make them higher fat content than higher carbs, and that's where the issue comes in. And that's why a lot of us, or a lot of Americans, are overweight or obese. I know that was my issue, and the fact that I wasn't tracking calories. So back on track to what I really wanted to talk about, since I get on rambles, is calories, and should you be tracking them, and macros, and should you be tracking them. So my advice to you in the beginning, don't even mess with macros. I feel like if you are just starting out in this, you are going to get so confused and so bogged down with trying to not only change your eating habits and pay attention to the foods that you're eating and how much of it, tracking macros on top of that is just going to mess you up. So unless you are gung-ho about doing that, you can certainly track macros, and I'll talk about it. But my advice to you when you're just starting out is to pay attention to calories, okay? So something that'll get you, and I know, I was actually talking to my sister about this, this was months ago, but these delicious protein cookies from Lenny and Larry's, I think. Oh, they're so dangerous. They're so good. But they're vegan cookies, and I got on a kick of them. But anyway, they're like this big, and she got on them too, and she's like, yeah, they're only like 200 something calories. And I'm like, no, actually they're like 400 something. Because on the back, she just saw the calories. She didn't look at the serving size, which is a huge thing too. That's how they'll get you. If you are looking at something and it just says, oh, it's 100 calories, sweet. And then you eat the whole bag of it and didn't realize it said, oh, for 3 cookies, it's 100 calories and there's 12 servings in the bag, then you just ate 1,200 calories when you ate that whole bag. And that's almost a day's worth of calories, right? So if you're not paying attention to the calories that you're eating and the serving sizes of foods, you're gonna get yourself into a heap of trouble. So my biggest thing for you is to download the MyFitnessPal app on your iPhone or Android, whatever. It's a free app. They also have a premium version, which offers you just more things, which is what I use. And it has like every food under the sun, basically. Any chain restaurant foods, any grocery store foods, a bunch of other little things. There's some things that I have to guess on, but for the most part, it's got everything in there. And then if you have something that maybe you can't find in their system, you can just scan the barcode on the back of whatever it is, and it'll pop up. And I started using that 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago when I started my journey, and haven't stopped. It is invaluable. Invaluable, guys. I tell you, if there is one thing to really get your weight loss going, use that app. It is amazing. So that'll really help you, if you're like, okay, my goal is going to be 1,500 calories a day. Then you just plug in your foods, you make sure to keep it 1,500 calories a day, and you're gonna start losing weight. I mean, you have to determine how many calories you're really burning. I use my Fitbit. I've always had some kind of fitness watch just to kind of tell me that. But there's calculations and things you can find online too that kind of give you an idea of how many calories you're burning per your height, your gender, and your current weight. And then you can determine from there. So let's say the calculator says you burn roughly 2,500 calories a day, just with your lifestyle, either sedentary, lightly active, whatever, and then, age, height, gender, and weight. So let's say you burn 2,500 calories a day. So to lose 1 pound a week, you would need to eat 2,000 calories. So that would be a 500 calorie deficit from what you're burning. If you want to lose 2 pounds a week, you would need a 1,000 calorie deficit, which would take you down to 1,500 calories per day to eat. Okay, does that make sense? You never want to go below 1,200 because that's going to make your body in starvation mode. Yeah, you're going to lose weight for a little bit, but eventually your body is going to get used to that little amount of calories, and it's going to not burn as much because it doesn't want to be in that state of stress all the time, right? So it's gonna be more efficient. It's gonna figure out a way to not burn as many calories, and you're not gonna be losing as much weight. You're gonna get frustrated, then you're gonna bump it down and down and down until you are just malnourished and you're not getting the calories that your body needs to live, okay? So never go below 12. I don't even recommend going to 12, honestly, but it's all individual. So I recommend getting MyFitnessPal, figuring out your calories, and then just tracking them in there. Even if the food is not super clean at first, mine wasn't. When I first started, I ate like shit. And I continued to eat like shit even when I was tracking my calories. I just was tracking my calories and making sure that the shitty foods I was eating was within my calories, and guess what? I lost weight. So do that, okay? As time goes on, and you'll probably naturally do this anyway because you're gonna start seeing results and you're gonna get more into this. It's gonna become a lifestyle for you. You're gonna wanna start eating cleaner and kind of paying attention to the quality of the foods, because as you get leaner, your body is not gonna keep losing weight at the pace that it does in the beginning when you're not feeding it high quality foods. It's just kind of how it is. But in the beginning, which is who I'm talking to, the people who are just getting started, don't worry about that. Just start tracking your calories, okay? The second thing is macronutrients. I already kind of explained what they are: protein, fats, and carbs. Those are the three sources that you get all of your calories from, okay? No other calorie that you eat comes from anything other than protein, fats, and carbs. Now, there are like micronutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, things like that, antioxidants, that are all calorie free, okay? Like your fiber and whatever. So those don't contain any calories. So those are your micronutrients. But your macros, if you want to track those, you certainly can. You can also track those in MyFitnessPal. I love MyFitnessPal. I'm not sure if that's in the premium version only, because I have premium, so I'm able to track the macros. You would have to download it and see. I'm quite sure you can track it on the free version, but whatever. You'll have to download and see. If you wanted to do that. Now, I track my macros. I didn't for the longest time. I do now because I'm plant-based and I follow an 80-10-10 structure, although I have bumped it up. I should say I bumped it up. For a long time, I was following 80-10-10, and all that means is I was eating 80% of my daily calories from carbs, 10% from fat, 10% from protein. Now, because I'm really trying to gain a lot of muscle, which, all this, it has been from 80-10-10. Like, I obviously am not hurting for protein, because honestly, we get way more than we need, and that's going to be a separate video. But I have bumped it up just a little bit because I've been training really, really hard in the gym. So I am now doing 70% carbs, 10% fat, 20% protein. And some days are still higher carb. Like, I don't hit 70-10-20 or 80-10-10 every single day. It's not perfect. Some days I get a little less carbs, a little more fat, a little less protein. It varies. But that is my goal, and I never get too far off from that, okay? So I never have like 30% of my daily calories from fats, like, ever. So that's why I track my macros. So you can certainly do that if you find some kind of diet, like a plant-based 80-10-10 thing that you really want to do, and you're like, well, crap, how do I know that I'm hitting 80-10-10? There are ways to track that, and you can do that in MyFitnessPal. I'm sure there's other apps. This one is my favorite, but I think there's like Chronometer and some other ones too that you can use. Anyways, so this might be kind of wonky because I just was recording like a 13-minute video, and then an Amber Alert came on my phone and totally messed it up, so I had to start over. So I hope I'm able to edit this and make it nice and seamless for you. But anyways, so you can track your macros. You don't have to. End of story, okay? Unless you are following a specific diet that you feel like you need to do that, like the 80-10-10, and you just need to figure out a way to determine whether or not you are eating the correct ratio of carbs, fats, and protein. So anyways, that is the gist. My biggest tip to newbies who are just starting out in their diet, and there's a ton of information out there and you're not sure where to start, you're not even sure how to track, and you're just feeling frustrated, do not feel frustrated. It is so much easier nowadays. You don't have to put pen to paper and write down every little thing that you're eating to keep track of. No. Download MyFitnessPal. The fact that it's free is unreal. They could seriously charge a lot of money for it. I would pay it. It's so worth it. And get in the habit. Track it every single day. I don't care. It takes you 5 minutes, especially if you eat a lot of the same foods. It'll remember it. You get to typing it in. It'll pull it up at the top of the list. You can save meals. So if you have a specific meal with like 10 things that you don't want to add each time, save that as a meal. So then you can just go in, okay, I'm eating this meal, boom, and it populates. It is so awesome. So get in that habit. You really have no excuse other than you're just in denial and you don't really want to see how many calories you're eating, and then in which case you're not really ready to do this because you're not going to continue doing what you're doing and see results. You've got to make changes. If you want anything to change, you have to change. So get your mind right. Make sure you're ready to do this. It's so freaking worth it. The fact that you can still enjoy your foods, you just need to keep them within a certain amount of calories and you're gonna lose weight, is so awesome and so motivating in the beginning. And as you get into it, things are gonna change. You're gonna wanna eat cleaner. You're gonna wanna exercise. You're gonna wanna do things because you're seeing results and you're feeling great. So that's the first step. That is the first step. I recommend that over exercise any day of the week. If you are trying to lose weight and you are not getting your nutrition in check and you are not getting your calories in check, exercise is not going to help you, because I know firsthand when I first started 113 pounds ago, I was working my ass off exercise-wise, but I wasn't tracking what I was eating and I wasn't losing weight. And I was obese. I had plenty of weight to lose, but I wasn't losing weight. Because a lot of times the more you exercise, the more hungry you get. And if you're not tracking your calories, you're gonna eat all those calories that you burned, probably plus some, in the kitchen. So track calories first and foremost. I say that if it's exercise or tracking calories, track your damn calories. Exercise can come later once you kind of get in the routine of tracking your calories, okay? So yeah, that's my biggest tip to you. It's super easy. I wish you guys the best of luck. I know that you can absolutely do this. So get out there, download MyFitnessPal app. You can find me on there if you want. My username is Lindsay, Lindsay, P as in Paul, 218. Okay, you can find me on there. I'll put it in the description box below too. And let's hook up. Let's be friends. Let's kind of give each other support and accountability on MyFitnessPal. I'd love to link up with you. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you like this video, feel free to like it, subscribe. You know, I've been on here for years, as you can see from my older videos when I was much heavier. But I'm trying to be more regular with this now because this is such a passion for me. I'm becoming a certified holistic nutritionist, certified personal trainer. This is my destiny, is to help people like you who are like me, you know, and somebody who's been there. And I just want everybody to know that you can absolutely do this. You don't have to feel stuck. You don't have to feel trapped in your own skin anymore. You don't have to always stay home because you don't want to go outside and feel uncomfortable around other people or get winded, you know, walking around. And you can live your life, okay? You don't have to just scroll and see other people's lives that you wish you were living and, you know, have a fantasy, live in a fantasy world, you know? I totally get it. I used to do it too. And, you know, having vices to make you feel better. You don't need that kind of stuff. You can be happy and healthy and live the vibrant life that you were destined to live, and you can start it now. Start it right now. Go download the app, start tracking your calories, link up with me on MyFitnessPal. I'll also leave my email in the description box if you just want to reach out to me and chat. I'm more than happy to chat with you and keep you encouraged and supported throughout your journey. So that's pretty much all I have for today. I will talk to you guys later. Love ya. Reaching for high, 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 reaching for high.